Hi, this is Esther Tanez with the Journey of an Entrepreneur. We have Alisa McCabe with the Steps Financial. First Step Financial. I keep messing that up. I'm a terrible friend. She is back. We're here to talk about what's your relationship with money. Why is it so important? We're also going to talk about how to improve that relationship and why it's important to the success of your business. But I want to let you know that this is being sponsored by Esther Inc. Insurance Agency, your local insurance agency where your protection is our priority. And every Thursday at 1:30, you want to make sure that you join us. And if you would like to follow us, make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. So let's start, Alisa. It is that season to find out whether, what is it called? Ground something?
Groundhog Day is tomorrow.
I'm terrible. Well, this is what I know.
Okay.
It's going to say whether spring is coming soon or later. What do you think?
I don't know. It's been really cold.
It has been.
I don't know.
Later?
I think we're going to have more winter.
I
never heard of Phil Puxatawny, the groundhog that they have in Philadelphia that comes out. I didn't know. Did you hear of that when you were a kid? Like, did you know about it?
I knew about the
Oh,
groundhog,
okay.
but I didn't know about that. But there's a specific one?
A specific.
With a name?
Phil Puxatawny. That's his name.
Pucks a what?
I swear to you. And it's in Pennsylvania, and it must be, where it originated, but it's, it comes out.
How old is he now?
I don't know. I think they must have they must have a new one every few years. But it's a big deal, and they put it on TV.
I know. I remember that. Yeah.
So
I didn't know there was a name, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I remember that.
Could you imagine it's the same one? He's old now, and he's taking his time, and the TV says, well, he's not out. And he's like, I'm coming. Never mind, we're silly.
So I'm with more winter coming. What do you think?
Jeez, because we keep getting this warm weather. The other day, last week, what was it, last week?
That's true. It was like 50,
it was a little bit, yeah. And we had a week before, we had 50 something. I actually wore high heels with no stockings and a little jacket. I was like, yay! And then the next day it was brutally cold, and I had boots back on and a sweater. It was crazy.
It's true. We did have
Well,
snow.
I think I'm gonna just to make it interesting.
All right.
Spring is coming.
Okay.
Early.
So we'll find out 6 weeks. 6 weeks. We'll see. We'll see what it's
tomorrow
like.
on TV.
Yeah, they're gonna have it, and there'll be the prediction of whether we're gonna have more or less. So.
All right. So is Alisa correct, or is Esther correct?
All right. We'll be
Keep
tuning
in. So we have this new, just if you've noticed, our Facebook Live is different because we have Gunner Productions. His name is Darren, but I keep calling him Gunner. Thank God he's okay with it. Anyway, he's fantastic, and we're excited to have him, and we're ready for the show, The Relationship of Money.
Okay.
So I'm a big reader. I read every single day. And one of the books that I was reading recently is with Susie Orman. Do you guys remember Susie Orman? Is she still on TV?
She is. Late night, like 3 in the morning.
Oh, late
If you ever
night.
can't sleep, there's all these. She's on PBS a lot, and because she has something going on with them. But
so I was reading her story, and it's a very interesting story. And she decided to write a book called The Courage to Be Rich. Actually, she's written many, many books. But you know what caught my attention in that book, Alisa? Is that she says that we have an emotional touch to money, and usually is one of three. It's either fear, shame, or anger, because it comes from our childhood, the first experience. She says, if you grew up in a family where they kept saying, we can afford it, or parents were fighting over money, or you were the kid that didn't have the extra money for like extra lunches. Yeah. So then you grow up with this feeling of, and it's unconscious. So then you open this business, right? And all of a sudden you find yourself not having a lot of profit, or overspending, or not being able to, balance your books well. And so she says to actually take time off. Well, when you have quiet time, and write down, think about way back, what was that first experience? So she says that if you have fear of it, you either hog or overspend it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And fear is more like, I'm afraid people are going to take advantage of me. But then instead of managing it well, you actually overspend it. So I was like, wow, that's weird. And then shame is, you either feel shame if you're doing well, or shame because you're in debt. And so shame can cause many debts. And the person can always be in, doesn't like to talk about it. I like talking about money. It's a piece of paper that gets me the things I want. What's wrong with that?
I know. Well, see, and that speaks to what was your first experience? Like how do you think of money?
Well, so here, my parents were very strict. And when I was 16 years old, my dad asked me to go get a part-time job. And I was a student in high school. And I had to pay rent. So I got paid 4 times in 1 month. The first week went to rent, minus the tithing for church. Because my parents are ministers.
I think tithing is important, regardless if your parents are ministers.
Yeah, no, it's true. Giving back,
Yes, absolutely.
So I had to give tithing, and the balance would go to my parents. And then the second week, I had to pay my own tuition, contribute to my own tuition because I went to private school, and then I can save money. So I always had a savings, but I had to pay the rent, the tithing every week.
Sounds like the real world.
Yeah. It's almost like they told me to budget.
Yes, absolutely. And so from that, do you have, obviously you took away something really good from that, because even though you've been ups and downs in your life, you've always had money.
Yeah, and we've had, yes. So I know when I work, right, I have my expenses, my monthly expenses, but I have an automatic, it goes to my savings account.
That is
and
so
that's
great.
Sacred. I don't touch it. And then automatic into my retirement.
Yeah.
So every month, not only a lot of bills get paid automatically, but my retirement, because Alisa, I'm getting old.
No, stop it. She's not.
So I know that eventually, this energetic person is going to have to slow it down and have money to, I don't know if anybody will want me to be their boss anymore. I don't know if they want me now.
You know what? It's funny because I think about retirement as, I'm always going to love working, and I think I will. I'm going to want to work for a long time, but I want the choice to be able to say, I'm ready to slow down. Right. And that retirement gives you more choices. So maybe doing that all along, like you've been doing, where you budget things, it gives you more choices.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I go on vacation a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
I cannot live without vacation. I don't care if it's even local.
Just for the weekend.
I'm leaving this weekend.
See, and that makes a big difference.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to be with girlfriends, laughing, having a great time. But here, another story. So I went to get my first car. I was 17 years old. I went running to motor vehicles. Some people don't go running to motor vehicles, but I went running to motor vehicles to get my license. So here I go, I get my license, and I go home, and like some of my friends who got cars from their parents. So I said, okay, can we go buy a car? And my mom was like, no. If you want a car, you have to work, save money. And I was like, but you're like charging me rent, and I got to put tithing. And she goes, that's responsibility. So I saved $750. Guess what was my first car?
What?
Now, remember, I was 17, okay? Don't be judging. 1980 AMC Spirit. It was like a UFO. It was black. All my friends from school, they made fun of it, but they went in when they wanted to go roller skating, when we went to get ice cream.
I know.
When we went to the beach.
Yeah, you just don't care. It's a car.
Yeah, it's a car. It got me. So I saved $750, bought my car, and then I get home, and guess what my mother says? Oh, you have a car. You have to donate time with that car. So who are you going to help with that car? I was like, seriously?
I think, but it's such a good thing that your parents taught you.
Not at the moment.
I know at the moment it was probably terrible, but I love that you've succeeded, and your mother wanted you to share that success with someone less fortunate.
Yeah. So she assigned me this woman in church who was single and elderly, and I had to take her every Saturday for her doctor's appointment.
That's
but
great.
I love Miss Castro.
Yeah.
And so she passed away. I was like, she was a big part of my life because I had to donate time with my own car that I bought. I feel a little resentful. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I think that's great. So I have a good relationship with money.
Tell me about your story.
I've always felt like I've had money. Even when I haven't, I've always felt wealthy. Always. So I've tried to instill in my kids that same sense. And so very similar to kind of what your parents did is I have talked to my kids over and over about this thing called PIGS. P-I-G-S. One is anytime you get any money, birthday money, you get like $100, break it up into PIGS. P, pay yourself. I, invest. G, give. And S, save.
Wow.
And you can make any percentage. So you want to pay yourself 50% of it. So you keep $50. Mm-hmm. Invest the money in something. I actually have tried to talk to my kids, and some of them do it, about investing in the stock market. Because they kind of know. Actually, one of my kids, and he said, Mom, he said, Black Ops is coming out with a new thing, and EA Games is the maker of it, and he's telling me all about it. I'm like, okay, so let's invest some money in it because it's really popular. It's going to do well.
I need like some advice from your son.
Oh my God, I have to tell you, it's quadrupled.
No.
So
what was it again? tip.
Not anymore. It's really, really high now. I think we bought it for like $16, and I think it's up over 100. I mean,
buy down still. It might go up to 300. What is this? Bitcoin is like now
I know.
Hundreds, thousands and thousands of dollars now.
I know. And so it's something like that. So you invest money and then give. I always tell them give 10%. And give it to whoever you want. Give it whoever you choose to give it to. Just give 10% and then save your money because you're going to need it. There's going to be a rainy day. There's going to be something that comes along where you want to save that money. So, and it helps you having those things and having almost preset boxes for your money to go in gives you control over it.
So as business owners, we start our businesses to support our families, right? So that's a good thing to do as business owners.
Absolutely.
You know, have your accounts separated and make sure that you have. I've been listening to this guy named Tom Ferry, and he says have an account for your business expenses, for your taxes that you have to pay every quarterly or at the end of the year, for your savings and your investments for the business. So he says divide that into 4 so that you are always ready for whatever needs to get paid. So I found that. I said, that's pretty good. So Tom Ferry, follow him on YouTube. Phenomenal. He's specifically for realtors, but every advice he gives is transferable for anybody.
Absolutely, for business or for personal. And that's what I like about a lot of these things that we talk about. It's so relatable to everything in our lives. It can be your business or it can be your personal. And it's something to help you, even help your kids to have a good relationship with money. So if I didn't have a good relationship with money, and at least if I worked on changing that, I can teach my kids to have a better relationship with money.
You have to change your attitude towards money, because if you don't change your attitude towards money, then you'll never have a true successful business. It's as soon as you make money, you'll blow it,
right?
Or you won't invest it back to your business, or you will feel ashamed with other family members that don't have enough, or fear, etc.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's one of the great things that you have so much control over, and realizing that you do have control over it. So. One of the things that I know both you and I have talked about was reading has really helped us form some of our opinions about how we deal with money. So one of the things that you talked about was Susie Orman's book, which was excellent. Another great book is our Bible that we use all the time. See how well worn this is? Look at this. It's like dog-eared.
It's my Bible. I mean,
E-Myth Revisited. If you haven't read this,
phenomenal.
You need to. Another one that I truly love, and I've read it and I bought it on CD so I can listen to it in my car, is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book is amazing. And one of my favorite lines, and I say it to everybody, and I say it to every client that I've ever had, start with the end in mind. Because if you don't, then you can't get to where you need to go.
That's right.
So even like with budgets, we talked about starting at the end. How much profit do you want to end up with? Work your way back from there.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything. Even when you do reports, how do you get to that? Let's start with what you want to measure and then get back. Where do you start to get there?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways, like, CNN and MSN, just to try to learn how to, invest in that future. And by listening to those terms, you learn.
Absolutely. CNN Money, MSN Money, Yahoo Finance, any one of those. There are so many resources to help you, to help change your attitude, to improve it. Even if you feel as though, and I obviously feel like I have a good relationship with money, I still want to improve upon it. I still want to make it better than it was yesterday.
Right.
So there's so many resources out there. I mean, these are just some of them. And, there's tons of things online. Like you said, a YouTuber that you watch.
Oh, my goodness.
Mike Malkowitz, who wrote who wrote Profit First, not The Profit. He wrote Profit First.
Right.
He's great. There's so many people out there that can help you. And then we were just talking about some different ways that you can help change your attitude. Yeah. So one of the things is to pay attention to your money.
Yeah.
So don't just ignore that money.
Don't ignore it.
And sometimes I have found that it's easier to pay attention to money when you have it.
I know. And when listen, I get it, because every business has its ups and downs, and budgeting is so important, because some months you'll make, like, this is our highest season from February to April, actually to May. We will have the most sales. I don't know why that happens. Maybe because people are buying homes. It's the season. Spring is coming. Whatever triggers it, I'm grateful. But I also know that from November to January, it is extremely slower. And so I have to take whatever extra funds that are here in these few months and save it for those months that are lower. But if you have a bad relationship with money and you overspend it, or you don't know how to manage it,
or you don't want to deal with it at that point.
Or you don't want to deal with it, right?
You just say, like, oh, I know I don't have any money, I'm just not going to look.
I'm not going to look, yeah.
And so that's one of the other things. Make time for it, and figure out how you handle it. One of the other things is to prioritize. So it's so funny. I was thinking about all these different ways you can do these things to improve your relationship with money. And it reminded me of being on a diet and what you would do. And if you had a goal in mind of you wanted to lose X amount of pounds in 6 months, you would do all these different things. You would prioritize your exercise. You would make sure that you did it.
5:40 in the morning.
Thank you, exactly.
5 times a week.
If you don't do it, then
I won't do it.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Because other things happen. So if you do that same thing with your money, like, okay, on the 10th of every month, I'm going to carve out from 9 to 10:30, and I'm going to look at my budget. I'm going to look over my numbers, and do different things like that. The other thing you can do is celebrate when you do something really well. So
that's such a good point.
Even when you're on a diet, think about it like you've reached one of your goals. You're like, oh my God, all right, I'm going to celebrate because I am going to splurge. I'm going to eat something that I haven't really eaten.
One little thing.
But it can be something
it's
like
the piece of chocolate you're gonna eat so slow,
or it's that it's a drink,
that glass of wine,
that you haven't had because it just has too many calories.
Yeah. So it's changing your mindset. First, being aware of it, right? Be aware where you're feeling. What does it bring up when you think of your finance? Does it stress you out? Are you afraid of it? Are you ashamed of it? And those feelings are very hidden, but your behaviors dictate what you're feeling. Yeah. So, she was saying that, you can see when someone's going to pay something, how long they take, or they clunch to the money before they pay it.
Really? That's what it is? Those people that are like, oh, here, yeah, I can't get it out. Oh, it's stuck.
The other thing is, like questioning everything. So she shared a story about this kid who was young and had to leave their country to come here, and they sold everything. But the mom was holding on to their 2 favorite chairs because they were so, so emotional for her, and they were her expensive pieces. And this investor came in to buy the furniture, and he, pay half of what she wanted, and he remembers his mother crying for days, just she felt that she was wronged, and he was angry. And the interesting thing is that he always unconsciously, without knowing, always felt that people were wronging him, like taking advantage of him. So if you're feeling like yeah, they're gonna take advantage of me. Oh, they're gonna overcharge me. Oh,
Wow.
so it's that fear that's coming. It's coming within, and you should address it. So being aware is number one. Number two, changing your mindset, forgiving it. Forgive it. It's okay. All the money didn't come November, December, January. It's all right to have my savings.
Yeah, and even if you have a misstep, like forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself.
Yes,
oh my God, that's huge.
It is. And
Yeah.
it's even, you're on a diet and you fall off the wagon. It's like, okay, the best way to get back on is to say, listen,
It's
it
okay.
was just a bump. I'm getting back on and I'm going to keep moving forward.
Yeah. And so dieting, because I've been doing it now for a couple of years. I started with a personal trainer. Now I go to boot camp and I play tennis, and I have this extra goals of a couple of more pounds. And I have to say that one of the things is keep imagining yourself where you're going to be. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to wear. When I reach that goal, I have the outfit in my closet.
Nice.
I'm so excited about it.
I think we should see it here.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it because I'm always determined to get to my goals, right? But it's not easy. Dieting is not easy.
No,
and money is not easy.
No.
The money topic and the dieting,
They go hand in hand, don't they?
They really do.
Because it's not easy.
They're
Because
best friends.
If it was easy,
everybody would do
everybody
it.
be rich and thin.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice combo. Rich and thin. And if, so the point is that being mindful and being aware, changing your mindset by reading constantly about budgets and planning and then change your behaviors. But your thoughts become behaviors. So
Absolutely. And so there's different things. You need to have clarity about what you're doing. So know why you're saving money or what you're saving for or what is going on with that. The other thing is to have faith in your long-term plan. Have that goal and know that it's happening, but also know that you're going to have ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
just like the
life.
stock market.
It's the stock market. You need to be able to weather those things. And then once you have all these things in place and you feel like you're starting to get a better sense of money and one of the things that can help you to bring about clarity and to maintain your goals and to really measure what you've been doing is to run some reports. And there's some key reports that I highly suggest that business owners run. First of all, your profit and loss, of course, everybody, you should run it. One of the things that I really like to do is run a profit and loss by month. And what happens is you can start to see patterns over the course of time.
Oh, yes.
So you can see what happens in January, February, and March.
I
And
know
like
it.
you would see.
Yeah.
You would see the fluctuations. And so that's something that you can see. You can see fluctuations in expense. And it helps you to gauge where things are going and how you're doing.
And keep control, because one of the things that why money is is rough, because a lot of people don't take control. But by running reports, man, you're in charge. It gives you power.
It does. It actually empowers you to feel like
Absolutely.
you're in control of this money, not that the money's in control of you.
Hey, that's a
Yeah.
tweeting moment, like Oprah says. Let's tweet that.
Yeah, and so another key report to run is your profit and loss by percent of income. Now, if you have QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop, either one, that report, actually in QuickBooks Online, it's already a pre-filled report. You can just go into Business Overview and it's there. It's already created for you. You just have to set the date. And I'm telling you, this report will show you, it'll show your income. And if you have your income broken up into different segments. So for you, you might have different types of policies broken up. So your insurance, your homeowner's policies, your business
auto,
liabilities,
business
any of those things. And they would be broken up and it would total to 100%. And then everything under that, every expense is based off of that 100%. So you might have your payroll might be 50% of your income. And then you go all the way down the bottom to look at your net income. And that is how much money you keep of those sales that you made. So if you think about it, you could actually think in your head, I want to keep every sale I make, I want to keep 20%. And then you work back from there. So you make sure
20% is good.
so you make sure that your expenses are less than that. And then you start to think about the relationship, because 100% is the whole. It has to be a fluctuation of the percentages. So it's something to think about. It's something to look at. And I run that every month for my own business, because I want to track how much I'm running in payroll, how much my insurances are, what's my rent, everything that I'm paying. I want to make sure that it is in line with where it's supposed to be, what the percentage is. Even when I create a budget, that's how I start it.
Absolutely. And so then once you know all those expenses, you are allowed to say, okay, how many sales do I need to increase to actually have more profit? So, and then you put goals to your, if you have salespeople in your team, right?
Yes.
So in my office, everybody's a salesperson, even my receptionist. She doesn't like it. But that's okay. I really think that it's important.
Tell you that even though your people are trained salespeople, everyone who works for me is an accountant. They're still salespeople too.
Of course, because
They're
the way they deal with the client, the customer service, the relationship, the promoting of another product. They say, I just noticed your account. Do you know that you can have this and you can have that, or you can save if you do this? This is all part of sales in an information format, not so salesy like the old traditional way.
And I hate to even call it sales, because I feel like
it's customer service.
What
really.
It truly is looking out for your client.
Absolutely.
Because that is my favorite thing, is when someone says, to me, hey, I just noticed you can save money, or, this would really benefit you if you did this. Now, we work with Gunner Productions, and Gunner Productions said to me, hey, if we do X, Y, and Z with you, you're really going to benefit. And I thought, oh, yeah, I am.
I know, because they're the expert, right? I'm the expert in insurance. You're the expert in bookkeeping and finances, and Gunner is in video and social media and all of that. So if you don't share this information, how would the customer know?
Yeah.
The customer is never going to know. So it is our duty
to
help them. And so everyone in my office has a duty to make sure that they're proactive. Otherwise,
absolutely.
how are we gonna differentiate yourself from other businesses? Some businesses are a little boring. That's why my staff, when you call, you say, hi, how are you? How's it going? Very friendly. Because we care.
Yeah, that's good.
We don't have friends either, so we need to be friends with you. I'm just kidding.
We need all the friends we can get.
So this whole relationship on money.
Yeah. So there's one more report, I'm sorry, that I want to get back to. So one more report that I feel is really important, and I run it for my own business, and I run it for all my clients, is a balance sheet report. And so what I suggest everyone to do is run a balance sheet report versus last month or last year, so you can keep track of where you are. One of the first things on there is your bank accounts. How much money did you have at the end of last month versus the end of this month? How much did you have at the end of last year versus the end of this year?
Oh, I love those
You
reports.
can see where you are and what changes have happened. You can see your accounts receivable. Where are you at? Are your accounts receivable really high? Are they really low? Your accounts payable, where are you? And what's the change from last month? So what you're looking for is patterns and changes that happen. And so then that will help you to make your adjustments for the month going forward.
In our agency, we run a similar report, but it gives us a little bit more granular. And what we do is, what policy we sold the most during the spring? And guess who it is? Contractors.
Yeah.
So now in February, contractors all over New Jersey are getting our information, because I know that from March all the way to October, contractors are either buying insurance or needing certificates for their insurance. But how do we know that? By running a report. And it gave me the power to know, what am I doing, right? And so if it's churches, or if it's, mixed use property, whatever. So run reports, because it really empowers you.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing about it, is you want to empower yourself with this information so that you can be in control and feel more comfortable and be happy. I mean, truly, if you're running a business, there are some parts of it you don't have as much control over, but this you do. And honestly, to have a good relationship with money, the end result is that you want to be happy.
And successful.
So
thank you, Alisa. It was great having you talking about money, the relationship of money. First Steps Financial is her company name. She's phenomenal. it's not about booking, it's a bookkeeping only. It's about, advice and managing with you, your business to take you to the next level. And that's what she offers. So make sure that you remember this is being sponsored by Esther Inc. Insurance Agency, where your protection is our priority. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you hit like and share. Write some questions, make some remarks. We love to engage. Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you tell? I love to chat. And every Thursday at 1:30, we'll be back. Next week, continuation with money. We won't have Alisa because she's celebrating her youngest.
Yes, my youngest is turning 10, and
Wow.
I promised a day with her. So we are spending the day together. We're going to a museum and lunch and all kinds of fun things. So I won't be here.
Oh, we will miss you. We'll miss you. But thank you so much. This is the journey of an entrepreneur talking about money, sales, and customer service. In a couple of weeks, we'll have amazing other guests who are going to be talking about sales. The Sandlers. Do you hear about that? His name is David Trapiani. He is amazing. So I hope to hear from you. Make sure you hit like and share. Have a fantastic day.
Bye.
Bye.